Summer Wells has now been missing for 1 week, and as of today, crews have covered more than 4.5 square miles in their search for the 5-year-old.
This morning, Donald Wells spoke on camera for the first time since his daughter disappeared.
You know, children vanish, and tragically, sometimes they are never found. The hope is that's not the case with Summer Wells.
You fix what's broken when you make that smile. So just stay for a little while. So just stay for a little while.
All right. And welcome everyone to another edition of It Remains to Be Seen. Are you out there, beautiful? I don't know if your mic is muted.
I am here.
There you are. Okay. Yeah, I just noticed that on that other scene in OBS that I didn't stretch it to fit the window, so that kind of sucked. I do what I can for a blind guy, you know. But
Oh, that's all right.
But welcome to another edition of It Remains to Be Seen. And here on your left, you have your beautiful hostess, Lori. And on the right, we have myself, Bob. I'm the blind dude. I can not see very well at all. Hi there, Akiro. Hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. And welcome back. Thanks for coming back. That is very greatly appreciated. And we appreciate, those who just come and interact and just take the time to visit. I always have, even when we were doing shows of different varieties and stuff like that in the past. It's just always awesome to interact with people. My apologies for the botched intro on the second part. I'll have that fixed.
Shame on you, Bob. Shame on you.
I know. For those who don't know, and who are newer to the channel, I just don't catch things sometimes. My vision is like, and we're glad you're back. Thanks for coming back. Akira said, told you I'd be back. So I have like zero usable vision in my left eye. Whenever kids like look at my eyes, they're like, can you see anything? And I tell them, you know what, I can look into the sun with this eye and I won't even see it. And then my right eye has like 20 over 1,000. And I guess when it comes to creating stuff, I tend to be a perfectionist. I don't know. So when I see like little flaws like I had there in that second intro, I'm like, oh crap, I screwed it up.
And here I'm just happy it's there. I'm just like, yeah, I don't know.
My thought is when I see it, it's like, oh crap, that's only going to take up like a fourth of their screen, the top left corner of their screen on YouTube, and but tonight we are coming to you. We're going to talk a little bit about some minimal recent developments in the Summer Wells case further on in the show tonight. But here in the beginning, as you can see, our marquee down at the bottom. As of July 27th, 2021, over in Fruitland, Idaho, which is a very small town. It's about 5.64 square... No. 2.24 square miles. And for those, in Canada and other places, like the beautiful lady over here, That's about 5.8 square kilometers, and a population of roughly 5,264 people. July 27th of 2021, Michael Joseph Vaughan, who was known as Monkey, um, he went missing between 6:30 p.m. 7:15 p.m. There was a very active babysitter out there who this just seems like this kid was very, very much loved. And just to get some things out there, there was a babysitter. She and her husband were at a pool tournament out of town, and the parents, as well as the kids, I believe there were, oh my goodness, 4 kids in the home. Michael being one of them. They live with the grandfather. The grandfather was not at home during the time of this disappearance, and Michael was known to be a very sociable kid, just a very friendly kid. He had tried to sneak out in the past. We don't know some of the specifics as to whether or not childproof, childproofing has taken place. My personal opinion, I'll tell you some experiences later on. Stuff doesn't always work. Um, I've got some stories for you. But evidently, the Brandy and Tyler, the parents, they had ordered pizza for dinner that night, and Michael had evidently gone over to a neighbor's home right down the street, and the neighbor said that it was okay for him to come over so long as it was okay with the parents. The neighbor went inside, did not see Michael return home, and unfortunately, Michael never did return home. The father was in a different room, changing a dirty diaper. The sad thing is in the online communities now. Well, okay, I'm trying to keep on track here. The sad thing is that in the online communities, there is a lot of judgment. Now, some actions definitely bring on some rightful judgment, like what we have been seeing in the Summer Wells case. But in this particular case, the police had advised Brandy to stay away from social media, and she's choosing to do so as far as groups and things, because people can be so harsh out there. We don't want the harshness out here. We are always open for discussion and just keeping an open mind about things. But harshness will not be tolerated. It's okay if you want to state a judgment. I mean, we've talked about our thoughts on Don Wells' behavior. And you know what? If you have something to comment on about that, go ahead. We don't want to be a channel who bashes, but there's a difference between making observational judgments and just being downright harsh, crude, and totally judgmental. So
I completely agree.
So, he's been missing since July 27th of 2021, and there is some information in the description as to where you can report a tip. There is also a website linked to in the description for anonymous tipping. Basically, this stuff does get me emotional. So I've been on my own with my 2 boys for over 6.5 years, and my gosh, I have taken them to parks and things along those lines, and I can barely see. I kept tabs on them. I stayed very close, but my gosh, it's a messed up world that we're in. Why the heck do these kids have to go through this crap?
Yeah, it's not fair. That's for sure. I don't understand it myself, but
I don't either, and it really sucks because these. I mean, like I said, I sit and think about mine, and I first started taking them to the park when they were 3 and 5 years old, and like I said, I mean, I knew when I went out that I could barely see them, but that doesn't stop people from doing stuff. In the neighborhood that we lived in for about 7.5 years, the larger portion of my boys' lives, there was an incident that took place not too far away where there was an 8-year-old little girl who was outside playing, and some dude just came up and literally grabbed her under his arm and got ready to take off with her. And if it wasn't for a 13-year-old kid in that neighborhood who saw it and went and accosted the dude, I mean, I'm not sorry, but just really emotional because, man, those kids don't deserve that crap.
that is for sure. It's definitely not a good situation.
So you've got some notes, hon. I know I didn't cover everything, and I try to keep things straight, but pretty much any notes that I have are in my head. So
Well, lucky you that has like a photographic memory or some stupid crap.
we're just
I'm lucky if I'm able to remember like one thing.
or listening to YouTube videos at 2 times speed while I'm doing housework.
Well, I've started listening to YouTube videos at 2 times speed too because
There's a lot to go through.
There's a lot to go through, and I can get through twice as much in the same amount of time. Let me check my notes, see if they're any different than what you said. Grandpa wasn't there. Babysitter wasn't there that day either. That Jen Smith, Newman, the neighbor, said that he tends to sneak out a lot, and he's a very social child. I obviously feel that with being social, that probably didn't work out in his favor.
Sadly, no.
If he went with somebody, it had to. Well, I don't know. What was the time frame?
It was they suspect that it was between 6:30 and 7:15 p.m. within that 45-minute window that he had disappeared.
Wait, what? So where was the dad for 45 minutes? He clearly couldn't have been changing a diaper for that long.
No, it's hard to say, and I don't. From what I had gathered, they don't have all of the information in on that. But but also during that time, he had gone over to the neighbor's house, and so I think that they are guessing, like, that the last time that they saw him was, within that time window, and so they've narrowed it down as much as they could have, because I believe, if I'm not mistaken, if I heard it right, I believe it was a neighbor who reported it to the authorities first, because he never came back or anything, and yeah, it's crazy.
I just, it's crazy to think that a child can just go poof, gone.
Yeah.
I think, just as people, we try to blame somebody, to make it make sense, maybe.
Right.
I mean, kids don't just vanish. Well, I mean, I guess they do, but they don't just vanish. They don't just, like, poof into thin air.
No, there's, Like I mentioned in the chat last night when I was out there, a couple years ago, there was this Amber Alert that was issued, and it was at the Costco, which is literally about 2.5 to 3 miles straight to the west of me. And somebody had taken off with, I believe it was a 2 or 3 year old little girl. And fortunately, they caught them, but it was within a 10-minute time frame. They caught them out in the car. They had all of her hair shaved off, and they had her clothes changed. Within 10 minutes.
Yeah, I don't doubt that, like, I mean, it definitely is possible. And, even with the Summer Wells case, if somebody did abduct her, I mean, you could see how that could happen too.
Definitely. And so far, that's really everything that has come out about that case. From my understanding, the parents are not trying to reach out to a bunch of different media sources. And I can understand why.
Well, law enforcement didn't even want to have the public involved in any way.
Idaho is a much, much more conservative state. And, that may not have much bearing on the matter. But it's a much more conservative state. And they You sir?
Now I can hear you.
Okay. Strange. Yeah, you went out for a second. It's weird. I couldn't hear you. I couldn't hear your background or anything.
No, you went all robotic and stuff.
Oh, weird.
So what do the people watching think? How do these kids just go poof, Gandhi?
Thanks to Kiro. Said I was cutting out. Yeah, it must be an internet issue, unfortunately. And it could be all the YouTube traffic too. I mean, with all the stuff that's going on out there, it's crazy. I'll have to check my my antennas on my. Thank you, Akira. Appreciate that. Said it's good now. I'll have to check the antennas on my Wi-Fi card and see if there's if that could have any bearing. My computer's getting old. It's a refurbished desktop, and I hope it lasts for a while because I can't afford a new one.
All right. So do we have any other information on this kid?
I don't believe that there is any other additional information that has come out.
We will definitely keep you all informed of any updates with him as well.
Absolutely.
There's just not much to say really because the family isn't as involved with social media as other parents and family members are apparently.
Right.
It can't all be the Wells family. So,
speaking of that,
I mean, this boy has to be someplace. We have to find them.
And for anybody who sees the marquee, and if not, he disappeared from his Fruitland, Idaho home on July 27th, 2021, between 6:30 and 7:15 p.m. 5 years old, blonde hair, blue eyes, about 3'7", approximately 50 pounds, and for anyone who has any information on him, they can contact. It's in the marquee, but I'm going to just kind of give that out here. It's find Michael at fruitland.org, or anonymous tips can be brought through Crime Stoppers at crimestoppersidaho.org.
I never like to make fun of states, but if I were to make fun of any state, it would be Idaho.
It gets a lot of that from Americans down here too, so
Just like if I could make fun of any planet, it would be Uranus.
yeah, that definitely gets a lot of flack as well. That is for sure. So,
Yo anus. Okay, I shouldn't sing a song about somebody's anus. That's not right, Laurie. Smart not. All right, so summer wells.
yep, I'm going to switch out our marquee here. See how this works. Yep, there we go. Marquee is switched out for the information for summer now. Go for it. What do you have thus far?
I don't really have anything new. I don't know. Dawn was whining about something and whining about something else, and I'm pretty sure that other creators probably were whining about other things. And, there's a lot of drama going on around certain things. Useless drama, really.
Yeah. Well, according to Dawn, everybody out here is evil.
Except for that channel.
Yeah, evidently.
His only outlet or source for communication to the outside world, because he's never thought in his brain, oh my God, I can go live on my own timeline.
This is true.
He's got enough followers. He could do that. He could just sit there and talk to them all night long.
It's totally a messed up story. There's.
And he doesn't got to get anybody in trouble. I mean, I'm just thinking it's what makes the most sense. All right. No, there's no, seriously, I don't know. I don't think there was very much along the lines of new stuff with the Summer Wells case.
Okay.
Just a lot of people looking into different aspects, different avenues, I suppose, that could have happened to Summer.
Mm-hmm.
I think, when it comes to the ability to talk more about Summer, I think is just because Dawn and them have given us more to talk about. You know what I mean? Like, fault them about however or whatever they've done, but
yeah,
they've definitely kept her name and then out there.
Her name needs to be kept out there. I just want to say, and I don't mean to cut you off there. I just want to say, Akiro says, I hope that both Summer and Michael are found safe with praying hands. Yeah, completely agree. Lori actually sent me another missing person's a piece of information about another. I think it was a mother and her kids. Was it? Am I correct on that?
Mm-hmm. Her one kid.
Got it. Okay. There's just so much. We have to protect our little ones. Mine are 9 and 12. Yours are 16, and she 21 now. Not yet.
17 and 21.
Oh yeah,
soon.
17. Okay, my bad. I'm sorry. I kept thinking 16.
Well, he is 16 right now. He's going to be 17 in October.
Yep. Next month. It's coming up. We've got to protect our kids. Sometimes we even have to protect them from our own / their own family. I mean, if there's somebody who poses a threat to them, whether they're related or not, like if it's, there's so much that, I mean, I don't want to keep talking on this, but there's so much that can be said, in that matter. When the boys were growing up, I've told them, boys, it doesn't matter if it's my best friend in the world, if somebody does something wrong to you or treats you wrong, you need to come to me, because they are not going to be a friend of mine anymore. Those are my kids, and am I father of the year? Heck no. But I tried to give them a good childhood. I want to see them happy. It's the way that it should be. It's, we need to protect our little ones, because evidently, seems like more and more people are out to get them. I mean, reading these, going through these other stories like the Aiden Fucci case.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we have to even be careful of the friends, with whom our kids have contact. We need to get to spend time to get to know their friends. And, I'm thankful, with my 12-year-old. I mean, he tells me about practically everything. Sometimes he'll wake me up at 5 in the morning and talk to me for like an hour and a half. Just to talk. And, and then I have my 9-year-old over here. He says hello. And, they need to have a loving, safe environment, and they need to be protected. We need to know their friends. And just tell me to shut up if I'm talking too much, because I talk too much.
What the hell are you on about?
When, I would let my oldest play Fortnite. He started playing that game on the PlayStation 4 when he was about 9 or 10 years old. But the rule at that time was he was not allowed to play the game with a headset on. I wanted to hear what was going on, and oh my gosh, guys, if you haven't heard, if you're a parent and your kids play Fortnite or something like that, and I'm not judging if you allow them to use a headset. My oldest, I mean, they've both started to show me that they're responsible enough and that I can trust them. A headset is a privilege. But oh my gosh, if you've never heard how some of these kids are treating your kids or other kids on some of the online games that are out there, you should tell your, if I mean, there might be a fight, but you should take the headphone jack out and hear what's going on, because the way some of these kids are, it's terrible. It's not just adults who are threats in the lives of our kids. It's also other kids, and those other kids are influenced by other kids and other adults around. I mean, it's a constant chain.
Definitely. It's a crazy world we live in.
Yep. I just got a bracelet from my 9-year-old. See,
Oh, cool.
He made a rubber band bracelet. Oh, he says the first one he ever made. Akiro says, "Bye, I love you, Adam." Later on. Yeah, Bob, there are so many sick people out there. Totally agree.
Okay, so has anybody heard about Candus and Hunter supposedly having a sexual relationship?
So, I don't know of anything that's out there media-wise, but when I first heard that she had provided alcohol for him, that seems very suspicious to me. And the fact that he, she took him on the trip that they went out with. I mean, granted, it was said that, you know, he and Summer were like siblings. I'm pretty certain I recall. If anybody has any information to the contrary, then please let me know. But I was pretty certain that it was stated that they were like brother and sister.
How the hell old is
Akira heard about it.
Candus?
I can find out. Give me a moment here.
I know Bob's 57, or Bob.
I feel like
Don.
57, 56. I think he's 56.
56 or 57. He's around the 56s or 7s.
Okay.
I suppose Grandis would be like I think she's like in her late 60s.
Still, I'm gonna see if I can find out what her age is. I mean, okay.
So okay, wait, hold on, let's back up. So what are we talking here? So
Candus and Hunter.
Candus, Hunter have a relationship. She buys him a vape and a twisted tea for him to keep his mouth shut about what happened to Summer? Or did he have anything to do with what happened to Summer?
You know, it's really hard to say.
Because if he didn't have anything to do with what happened to Summer, and a lot of people think that it happened after she got home, and that he wasn't there when, obviously, because... But that's weird, too, because Candus said that, you know, in her interview that, you know, she said to him that, you know, Hunter, you're not coming to my home or something. I'm taking you home. She made a big deal about it. So I'm like, okay, well, why are you putting so much emphasis on that? Akira says, what do you guys think about this? The property is very secluded, so what are the chances a random stranger kidnapped Summer? In my opinion, it had to be someone that knew the family. But there was people that were creeping around the property, supposedly.
Now, who made that statement, though? That there were people creeping around the property?
Well, that's what Hunter said Dawn said to Candus.
I know I probably sound terrible, but anything that is said by Dawn, and to me personally, this is my own personal view and opinion, guys, I don't really believe much of what he says. I just don't see him as trustworthy.
No, I agree. He definitely lost some credibility points with me as well. However, I do think there's some truth in what he says.
Yeah, I can. You know, there's always at least a fragment of truth in something. Whether it's with somebody who's sincere and honest, you're going to find a greater deal of truth there. But even with abusers, they have to tie in truth. They have to tie in truth in order to, you know, if it was 100% lies and no truth, it would be found out a lot sooner. But when the truth is intermingled with lies, it makes everything really questionable.
But what I find weird is that law enforcement allowed Grandma to leave the state. You would think, being that she was around the whole time, supposedly around Summer, up until minutes minutes just before she went missing. And if Candus supposedly stepped out to help Grandma with her knee brace or whatever, wouldn't she have heard Summer go outside? Wouldn't you have she have heard anybody on the property?
It's so hard to say because there's the information that was talked about with the dogs who were mysteriously or, I don't know, conveniently not there that day. I don't know. I don't know. It's hard to know because, we weren't there. We don't know what the soundscape is like there. But being that it's more of a secluded place, it stands to reason that it would be quieter. But
I agree with Akiro. I do think that it would have had to have been somebody that knew,
yeah,
well, obviously, in order to take her and not make a sound. But then again, that depends what Candus was doing during that time. How long was she really, doing whatever she was doing?
let me see if I can find this here. I'm looking for the statistics. Well, that's just California. Okay. There's a website. I want to make sure this is credible. Okay. Some sites just they can be misleading and things, but okay. Here we go. This is an official government website. But what I'm looking at here are missing children statistics. There might be some information in here that could be, because from what I recall hearing, with SA cases as well as abduction cases, it has a tendency to be more statistically somebody who is either a part of the family or is close to the family, or somebody who was very creepily observing that family for a long time. Somebody who has some form of familiarity to the child. But I'm just wanting to see if I can find some statistics for us here.
Okay, so when it comes to Dawn taking this Subaru, wouldn't that be silly of him to do that? Because can't they trace his car? It should have GPS or whatever to what he was doing that night.
You would think. I mean, I don't know. The whole thing is just, I can't wrap my head around it.
Akira says if you think about it, if she knew the person that abducted her, she wouldn't be scared of that person and would be easily lured. I completely agree with that. Totally. I do think it was somebody that she knew or seen before. Somebody that was on the property, and conveniently the dogs weren't there, but were they really not there, or were they there and didn't bark because they knew who the person was?
Let's see. Okay, here's a little tidbit of information here. So, this is Wikipedia, so, I mean, they can sometimes be accurate, sometimes not. It says fewer than 350 people under the age of 21 have been abducted by strangers in the United States per year between 2010 and 2017. The federal government estimated about 50,000 people reported missing in 2021 who were younger than 18. 50,000. Only about 100 cases per year can be classified as abductions by strangers. What country has the most kidnappings? New Zealand is the top country by kidnapping rate in the world. It's creepy stuff.
Wow.
Creepy stuff.
Mm-hmm.
What state has the most kidnappings? Here are the 10 states with the most missing persons. California, 2,133. Florida next at 1,252. Texas at 1,246. It's crazy.
Yeah, no kidding. That is insane.
Oh, I've got one more thing I found here. But go ahead, though, if you were going to say something. I don't want to cut you off.
I don't know what the hell I was going to say.
Let's see.
I'm just trying to think of different aspects of the case and different.
So this is an interesting little fact really quick. It says parents were the perpetrators in more than 90% of kidnappings and abductions. Mothers and female family members were responsible for the majority, 60%. However, fathers and male relatives were responsible for 64% of all kidnappings. So essentially, it would be pretty safe to say that statistically speaking, when something like that happens, it's typically someone close.
Mm. So, if that's the case, then who's close?
That I don't know because I don't know everybody involved. I mean, and a lot of it, for me to say anything, it would be conjecture. But like, I don't know. I just don't know.
And does Hunter play a bigger role in this than we originally thought?
Well, the other thing is it sounds as though there were people who were there often. I mean, what was it? The friend Allie who brought her male friends Jose and
Jose?
their kids
Yeah.
over there. And
Yeah, that was back in October, though.
yeah, yeah. Um, but then there was the dispute that happened there. You know, you could go out on a very thin limb and say, could there have been any animosity there? It could go any which way. It's just messed up, and there's just too much.
And what about the aspect of one of the brothers doing something?
Right. That could be another thought. There's so much there. It's absolutely crazy. It could go in so many which ways. But the fact that it was mentioned, uh, you and Akiro, I think, were discussing that last night. That the dogs tracked the scent from the swing over to the other, what was it, the other side of the road.
In the back or something? It was something that indicated that they had gotten in a car.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And again, if that's the case, where the hell was Candus?
Precisely. It's hard, because when you look over at the Michael Vaughan case, okay, he was known to sneak out, and he was only 5 years old.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I think that a good number of parents, I don't want to say most because I don't know, a good number of parents have probably experienced it at least once, where when a child becomes 2 or 3, they start playing with doorknobs and stuff. And I mean, when my oldest, we moved into an apartment when, oh boy, he was about 2 years old. We moved into an apartment, and the apartment was uh, a more accessible apartment. It was like an ADA compliant for somebody who used a wheelchair, and so it had an automatic deadbolt, and so when you would turn the doorknob, it would from the inside, it would automatically release the deadbolt, and you could open the door. Well, my oldest found that out very quickly, and so I had to contact the complex, and they wanted to fight with me about it. I said, this needs to be replaced. I said, my son is 2, and he can open this door and be on his way out. And I said, I am blind, and I want I want this so that this is not the case, and it needs to be done. And I literally told them, I said, if you do not come and replace this, and something was to happen, you're partially liable for it because I called you about it.
Mm-hmm.
Needless to say, they came and replaced it, and but then my youngest, oh my gosh, my oldest, he learned fast. He stopped. But my youngest, um, we lived on a ground level apartment at that time, and there was nothing childproof to him. I had to put the kids' vitamins up, thinking that they were safe. I mean, they were up. They were up higher than I am, and I'm about 6 feet tall. Okay. I was in the restroom, and all of a sudden I heard this noise, and I come out into the kitchen, and there's a bottle of kids' chewable multivitamins that's practically empty with a childproof lid off of it. So,
Really?
thanks to the jingle here in the States for poison control, 1-800-222-1222, I called them and I was like, I explained what was going on, and she's like, sir, can you check and make sure, is there any iron in the vitamins? And I said, no, ma'am. And she said, okay. She said he's going to be okay. If you experience anything abnormal, just take him to see the doctor. And I said, so he probably doesn't need vitamins for a while, right? And she laughed and she's like, yeah, probably not for a good while. But he was the kid who would go to the patio and he would push a chair up against the patio wall, flip himself over to go by the gate to watch a street cleaner go by. I mean, that kid, yeah, gave me a heart attack a whole bunch of times. But, after a while, he settled down.
Thank God. Eh?
Scary stuff, though. I mean, that's the thing, though, is, sometimes the parents can be very responsible in child. I mean, the essentially the cult that used to go to, he was in the nursery. And my oldest came out of his class one night because it was time to release, and he came up and he said, Adam came into my class tonight. And I was like, what? So I went to the nursery, and that little boy, they had the child-proof doorknobs on there. And what he did was he piled up packages of diapers, and he climbed over the door. So, I mean,
Oh, jeez. That's crazy.
So I mean, it's crazy.
That is for sure.
So
I'm not sure.
I have some comments out here from Akiro. I can read those really quick. What do you guys think about this? The proper. Oh wait, I think that one was. We've already read that one. If you think about it, if she knew the person that abducted her, she wouldn't be scared of that person and would be easily lured. Yeah, totally agree. It could be like you said, maybe the dogs didn't bark because they knew that person, and that's always a possibility. Kiro says, OMG, that's a scary situation. Good thing he's safe. That's crazy. Yeah, it really was crazy. He was a rambunctious kid. Love him to pieces, but I don't know. I probably lost a couple years of my life.
Well, kids are supposed to make that happen, I think, anyways.
Yeah, I think so.
I got real humdingers about mine, too. But I don't mean that's for another day. I don't really got much else on summer other than the stuff between Voices Behind the Wall and all that stuff.
Yeah, I don't have any further information either. But if there are any cases that any of you out there would like to see us cover and talk about, and you'd like to chat about out here, let us know here in the chat or in the comments, and we can look them up and put something together and just build a caring community out here, and a place where we can chat about these things and chat about perspectives without all of the hate and the judgment and all of that stuff. But let us know in the chat or in the comments, if there are any cases that are very sentimental to you or very, very near to you because of your experiences or situations. Let us know. And we will do our best to accurately cover them and chat about them out here.
Exactly. So tomorrow, I think if there's no new news, new news on summer, maybe we'll talk about that Aiden Fousey.
That sounds like a plan. That is a messed up case.
See what the hell's going on with that. Because, I mean, that is a whole bunch of different kinds of weird.
Yeah. The niece.
I mean, I just don't. Sorry, I just don't understand how a person that's 14 years old, how they can have so much anger and so much whatever.
Yeah.
Towards somebody that they actually have to physically. I'm not going to say the word, but it involves a knife.
Yeah.
And do that 14 times?
I believe it was 114 times. Well, and then you have the Skylar niece case. I mean, my gosh, we don't like her anymore.
Yeah, don't like her, gotta kill her.
That's like, what the heck is going on?
That's so crazy. So, I mean, I think that we should do it on Fousey because it'll probably be I don't know. It's probably going to be a 1 or 2 or 3 show thing, maybe. So that one's not a small one.
Yeah, I'm totally on board with you there. You set the direction, and I will do everything on my end to.
So, I mean, you guys let us know. Do you guys like that when we break it up and talk about a different case and then not a different case, like we talk about summer at the end? Or would you guys prefer it just be about summer?
My personal opinion, and that's all that it is. I think that if there's anything breaking in the summer case, and we're going to keep the marquee going. I got to figure that one out because, you know what, I can add it so that I can put Michael's information in there as well. And so the marquee can just be a long continuous thing. But Akira says, I've never heard of either of those cases. They are messed up, Akira. Messed up. I think that if there's any breaking news, that maybe it would be good for us to talk about that in the beginning so that it's, more immediate, more readily available out there and it's not hidden under a bunch of other things and then continue on and talk about the other case. That's just my thought on the process so that, if there's anybody out there looking for pertinent information or updates, they could find it, in the beginning, and then we would, I mean, that's just my opinion because my experiences out here on YouTube, you see a headline like recent events in case XYZ, and then you go on there, and then there's like 2 hours of talk, and then it gets to the end, and it's like, oh yeah. So I think it would be really, but that's my thought on the matter. I'm not necessarily an expert in a lot of areas, but I'm thinking it might be a good idea if there's any breaking news in that case to bring it up front. Same with same with the Michael Vaughan case, and bring up the breaking news in the beginning, and then continue on. But again, that's my 2 cents, and I am totally open to your suggestions, hon, or anybody else's as to thoughts. But we just want to make this a format that's readily available to all of you out there, because we appreciate you guys subscribing and coming out here. I mean, it's awesome to see, and so we would definitely love to hear your thoughts and opinions on things as well. We're very open-minded people.
And we're going to be having a giveaway. We didn't ever figure out a time, did we?
No. Well, I think we talked about September 30th. At the end of the month. We just have to figure out a way to qualify, participants, like a good method for doing it. Because if we say say that you're subscribed to the channel, I mean that's probably the best thing to do. Is maybe make a quick video about it, and just put some criteria. Subscribe to the channel, come and say hello in at least one of the live videos. Then we can just I can go and do my random generating magic and stuff, and go from there.
That works. So there, you heard the command. If you're watching, put your name in the thing.
Well, we got to make a video first.
No, but they can practice.
This is true.
This is true.
It's giveaway practice.
Exactly. And I'll try to have one giveaway a month.
That sounds like a plan. And right now it's not going to probably be anything extravagantly large, but want people to enjoy the channel too, and you all coming out and subscribing to us and liking and interacting on the videos and things, it's huge for us, and it's the least we can do to give back. It should be a two-way thing, it's as best as possible.
That is for sure. On that note, we should probably end it, and thank you for subscribing. Thank you for being here. Thank you for all them awesome, cool, groovy is. Geez, does anybody use that word? Groovy?
It's still out and about.
I don't know why it popped in my head.
I'm not sure what the new word is nowadays, though. I've heard some different things. I'm feeling so old.
And I guess that's all of it. I guess that's it.
All right.
But if you're not subscribed, please do subscribe.
Yeah, it's very much appreciated, and also if
and hit the like.
Yeah, please hit that like button as well. Definitely seeing the impacts that those of you who hit that like button are having. It's really awesome, because I know before I got to know Lori, for those who don't know, she and I are in a long distance relationship about 1,300 miles apart, and I just submitted papers to get my passport, and am hoping to be able to go to see her for 2 weeks here in December. And but when I first got to know her, I mean, this was her dream, to build a channel and build a community, and it was her dream. And I love getting to be out here with her, and seeing everything that's going on out here on this channel. I mean, it makes me happy, because I mean, it's been her dream, you know, and when you're out here and you're a content creator and you see the numbers like stay put, stay put, stay put, stay put. Oh crap! It went down by 5. You know, I mean,
Mm-hmm.
Akiro says, "Are you guys going to go live tomorrow?" Yes, and we're going to try to stay consistent, like going live at about 8 Pacific. I'm in California. She's in BC, and so we're both on the Pacific coast, Pacific time zone anyway. I think I'm closer to the ocean than her, but we're going to try to keep it at 8 p.m. Pacific, and usually put information out there about. Akira says, "Oh, that's awesome! You guys are a good match. Really appreciate that." She probably deserves better, but you know.
Oh, I'd also like to say too that please send your prayers to a friend of mine that apparently is on a ventilator because of COVID.
Oh yeah, you were telling me about that earlier.
So hopefully he gets better, and yeah, that sucks. That is just crazy when it hits closer to home. It's like, I don't know.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, California is the same time zone as BC.
Yes, it sure is. It sure is. So it'll be 8 p.m. BC time, as well as Pacific time here in this. I don't know if it's on Pacific time, if it's called Pacific time up there. But we plan to come on at about 8 p.m. It seems to be a good time. Not for the East Coasters and stuff, but
They're probably pissed, but they can always catch the replay.
well, we used to do it an hour earlier anyway. So I mean, it's an hour. But it seems.
I mean, we could always move it back to 7 if that would be helpful to people, but
Well,
the East Coasters would have to speak up on that.
yeah. So if there are any East Coasters, then it would be more helpful to have it at 10 p.m. Pacific, 10 p.m. Eastern. Sorry. Let us know. And okay, Kira says yes. Yeah, it is called Pacific time. I'm. Uh-oh. Okay, comment disappeared. But yeah, it'll be Pacific time. So we appreciate y'all coming out, and we appreciate you taking the time to watch and interact with us, and please keep continuing to do so. It's always appreciated.
For sure. Well, I haven't got nothing else to say.
Me either, even though I talk way too much. I always talk way too
Other
much.
than good night, all.
Yep.
Good night.
You all have a good morning, noon, or night, wherever you are. And thanks again for coming out. And take care, all.
Bye.
All right. So...